This is a pretty serious boat, though, right?
Oh yes. You know, Richard and I, we do a lot of tournament bass fishing, and you're going to need a rig like this to succeed in it.
What does succeed? You mean just to get to the fish?
Well, to get to the fish, to have a really good day of fishing. You don't have to have a rig like this to fish it, obviously. But if you want to do it like we do it, and we do it on a real serious basis, more than what the wives like to admit to.
I'm sure they come along too, though, right?
Yes, they do.
You do take your wives every now and then?
Oh yes, absolutely.
Okay. You don't want any trouble, so you gotta at least ask them if they want to come.
We gotta behave ourselves a little bit, you know. We just gotta keep it real.
Yeah, they don't want to know you're having too much fun out here, right?
Absolutely.
Sometimes they outfish us, and it really takes the ego down a bit.
Yeah, it can be done. I'm intending to do it. Nobody's fishing this.
So what are the lights on your truck for?
I'm a deputy sheriff, Washington County.
Oh, you are?
Yes, reserve deputy.
How do you like that?
I like it. I've been doing it since 1993, and you just can't get it out of your system.
Is that right?
Yes.
How often do you get a call?
Not often. The way
So yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, the way it's done now is the sheriff's department and state police share the county. It's divided up in different slots. It used to be that whenever there was a call, say in Princeton, they'd call out a deputy that was in the area closest to it. Now it is just divided up into slots between state police and sheriff's department. So if I was to use, if I was to be called out, it's more or less to be on a shift itself, rather than just to go out to take an accident or handle a complaint.
And how often does that happen now?
Not very often.
So that's not good, right? I mean, you kind of you enjoy the call.
I enjoy serving the people of Washington County.
Right.
It's a calling. That's what it is. You know, it's just something that people can't say, yeah, I'm going to be a cop today, and you have to have it in you as a calling for it. It's the only way to explain it. It's in your blood. Don't want to lose those keys. No. Nice little ultra.
Yeah, I mean it's
real nice.
I like the feel of the fish on there, you know?
Yes, you can put it right here on the side. There's a ramp right there for you.
Ah. Boy, they got these all set up, don't they?
Oh yeah.
So where are we headed?
We're going to head around the corner here, right around this bend, and we're going to fish a little flat.
You know these waters pretty well, John, I take it.
Not as well as Richard on here. What we got in here is a whole bunch of stumps. There's low flowage, and bass are going to relate to structure. So we're going to fish in here, come around this corner. There's some grass in here. You got a lot of stumps that we can pick some up on, hopefully.
So what are the what's your instrument panel tell you?
Well, this right here is a flasher, and what it's telling me is the bottom depth, the hardness of the bottom, and whether or not we see a fish in here. The fish will show up as little flashes in between here, So every once in a while you're going to see a little flash in there, and it'll show us that there's an indication of a fish. It doesn't tell us what fish it is, unfortunately, but give us a good indication of it.
So what does it say? It says it's...
Right now we're coming up to around 11 feet of water, 10 feet, and it's a soft bottom. We got really...
How do you know it's soft?
A soft bottom because of the echo strength.
Oh, I see.
Okay, this down here, the longer the echo strength, the softer the bottom. Now we're coming up to about 6 feet. So we're going to get on the trolling mode and let's start fishing.
Do you have a preferred tackle that you like to use? Like on a day like this?
It varies depending on what I'm trying to accomplish. I'll start off with top water in the morning and then I'll progress to whatever the water or the conditions tell me. Like I was telling your friend there, every body of water is different, and the secret to catching fish is location and presentation. And if you can put the two together like that, you're going to do really well. You're going to have a successful day of fishing.
And
I won't give away your secrets. Oh, don't worry about it.
does he have some good ones?
Yes, he does have some really good secrets. Unfortunately, that's just it. They're still secrets. I've been working on them to get them.
He fishes with you just to tantalize you.
He actually won the last tournament. Couldn't believe it.
Where was the tournament?
Moonshine.
Oh, okay. How many guys do that from around here? I mean,
There was 30 boats on that, so you figured each boat carries 2 guys, so...
And were most of those people from Maine?
Yes. There was some Canadians, let me see. What is there, about 3 or 4 boats that fishing from Canada, John?
Yeah, they're always on the trail, constantly. The popularity of bass fishing has grown by leaps and bounds. When I first started bass fishing, Richard got me introduced to tournament fishing. And I was actually bass fishing a long time ago. But when I first came up here, you know, I thought I knew it all. I thought I was the greatest thing since sliced bread. And I got hooked up with Richard by a friend of ours. And I fished my first tournament and I was hooked on it. And he took me down to a club in Ellsworth. And I sat there and I was frightened out of my mind because I felt I was out of my league with all these guys that they just fish bass constantly. And I got to know the guys very well, and as a result of it, this is it. You know, you just get.
But you don't make money doing this stuff, right? I mean, it's
very little money, if that. I mean,
where is the state of smallmouth? I mean, let's let people know. Are there any largemouth bass in Maine?
Yes, there is. There is largemouth bass.
Can we catch largemouth bass here?
Not here.
Right.
Moonshine, Crawford Lake has really good largemouth. Yes, really good largemouth. And
but what is? I mean, largemouth is what you think of when you think of tournament
right,
fishing.
exactly, because you hear about the BASS, the FLW circuits, and you see it all the time, largemouth bass. Well, smallmouth bass fishing in this area is phenomenal. And we have some of the best in the nation. And that's not just my opinion, but it's also opinions of a lot of people that fished. I fished down in Virginia, I fished in Massachusetts, and the smallmouth bass fishing does not compare just to Washington County alone, let alone the state of Maine. We are so blessed with an environment and an ecosystem that supports this beautiful species that the word's getting out, and you're seeing that bass fishing's taking off. I know that the tournament circuits, when I first started, usually you had around 6 or 7 people fish a tournament. That was it. And then the Maine Federation really took off, the BASS chapter federation for the state. And now, like Richard said, last tournament we fished, there were about 30 boats there, and it just grows. And it's a big help to the economy too, because you get a lot of people that travel from Canada. They're from all of Washington County, and you had some people come up from southern Maine to fish these tournaments.
But if there's too many fishing people, aren't they taking too many fish?
We do a catch and release.
Okay.
And so when you do a tournament, you catch the fish. First you got to get a permit from the state to have a tournament.
Right.
And you have a set day for that tournament. Get the permit, and it's all catch and release, 5 fish limit. You cannot cull a dead fish. So what we catch, put in a live well, they're kept alive, they're weighed in, and they're released back into the water
I
unharmed.
see how that.
And like what we're doing today, we're doing I'm a strong believer in catch and release. Catch, put it right back in. And it assures the fisheries for my children and everybody else's children for years to come. And you have an imbalance when people, take too much. And if they take too much, they don't realize it takes a long time for a bass to get a certain size in this environment. We're in a cold environment up here in the north. And it's unlike the south where they have a continuous growing season. You catch a 4-pound bass up here, that bass is an old fish.
How old would he be? I mean, how old do they live to be? Do we know?
Exactly, I don't know. I'm not a biologist. I'm sure biologists can answer that for you. But I was always told that a 4-pound smallmouth bass is around 10 to 15 years old up here. So you look at that for a growing cycle.
Yeah, and he might be at the end of his life cycle.
Exactly.